Uninformed immigrants are at a huge disadvantage in court, in financial and legal matters, and also sometimes in life. Well, what can we do about it? I'll tell you what. We can train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to maximize their lives regardless of their immigration status. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. I am your immigration lawyer and host, Otis Landerholm, and this is the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. What is a quote-unquote credible fear interview? Well, the basics are if a person is entering the United States seeking asylum, and if they tell Border Patrol that they're afraid to return to their country, all right, then Border Patrol should and will schedule an interview, it's actually with the asylum officers, to determine whether or not the person might be able to win asylum, might qualify for asylum. And that interview, it's like a preliminary step to entering the asylum process. We call it the credible fear interview, all right? To win that interview, the standard is you have to show a quote-unquote significant possibility that you are eligible for asylum, okay? And so how do you do that? We'll get into that. That's really our theme for today. You want to understand asylum law, and you want to be able to explain your story and what happened in your life and keeping in mind the types of cases that are recognized by U.S. asylum law. Okay? And so that's really it. And so if you win a credible fear interview, what that means is that you'll be allowed to fight your asylum case. You'll possibly be released into the United States, but you'll still be facing deportation proceedings, and you'll start a very long fight, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 years of a legal battle to win asylum here in the U.S. If you lose a credible fear interview, you can request that an immigration judge review that denial, but if you still lose there, you will be deported. Okay, and so it's like a very important first step. And now, let me give you some information. Did you know that from December 1st of 2020 to December 1st of 2022, which was kind of a weird year because of the pandemic, but it's like the last full year of data that we had, the U.S. government received 57,000 credible fear cases, all right? And in 38,000 of them, a little bit more, 38,713 of those cases, credible fear was found. That means it's about 67%, right? It's about 2/3 of the cases got over the first hurdle. Somebody comes in, they're afraid for their life, they're saying that their life is in danger in their country. 2/3 of those cases were found to pass the first hurdle, and yet 1/3 of those people lost at the first step and then ended up getting deported from doing that. Okay? And now you don't want to go through this process and be one of the 1/3 of the applicants that lose at just the first step. Okay? And so let's look at it, right? Like, what could you do to maximize your chances of winning? And, and so that's what we're here to talk about. So if you're joining us here on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. And welcome, and thank you for joining me. All right? So how do you maximize your chances of winning that first step? The most key piece of it is you've got to understand U.S. asylum law. Okay? So asylum means protection. So to win, you need to show that you have a well-founded fear of persecution on account of one of 5 things. It's got to be on account of your race, your religion, your nationality, your political opinion, or your quote-unquote membership in a particular social group in your country. Okay? So what does that really mean? What it means is when you come to the border, when you say that you have a fear to go back to your country, you have to, in your interview, you have to articulate why they're going to harm you, the motive of the bad guys, and why they would target you. All right? Are they going to harm you because of your race? Are they going to harm you because of your religion or your nationality or your political opinion? Or are they going to harm you because of your membership in some group that we could maybe help you think through in your country? All right? Because here's the thing, and sometimes this is sometimes our clients come from dangerous parts of the world. Sometimes there are gangs that are literally killing people and threatening people and extorting people in their town, in their city, in their neighborhood for no reason at all. All right, think about it. There is violence that happens in the world today. And sometimes the bad guys are targeting people not because of who that person is, but because they want more control over their region or their area or their part of town. If that's the case, that is a hard case to win. It is likely that that case will be denied. And yet, our job, and the job of a lawyer who knows this stuff, is to say, hey, no, wait a second. What really was in the mind of that gang member? Like, did they say anything to you? Did they say that they were targeting you because you owned a business? Did they say that you were targeting you because you have family that was physically present in the United States? Did they say that you were targeting you because you are a person of indigenous origin? Did they say that they were targeting you because, because you're a woman, right? Or because you are you used to work for the military, or because you have some kind of training? Like, did they say anything when they were harming you, or when they were threatening you or extorting you? And maybe those words that came out of their mouths should be the focus that you have in your credible fear interview, because maybe that is the basis of your case. Does that make sense? Anyway, it's always wise to start with the basics and really look at asylum law and then think about your story and what really were the motives, the reasons that the bad guys were going to target you. All right? Now, a few other pointers, and then I'm going to get into your questions today. And by the way, if you have questions, hey, send them over. Not a problem at all, right? That's part of what we're here to do. And so a couple of other pointers. Pointer number one, you've got to be honest, all right? If you lie or if you even contradict yourself, you can be denied just for that. So don't try to make up a story to make it work. That's a bad recipe. It's a recipe for disaster, actually. It will mess up your entire process. So be honest. Number two is think through your story and think through how to present it in a way that highlights what the bad guys were out to do. It really is important. It's central to the law. Pointer number three is hire a lawyer, and with your lawyer, listen to your story, right? Practice your story with the lawyer. Have the lawyer listen, all right? And have the lawyer actually represent you during your interview. We get a lot of cases where the lawyer at the credible fear stage didn't do anything, all right? Maybe they were just listening at the interview, but they didn't really prepare the client. You want a lawyer who will prepare the client, all right? And tip number 4, honestly, be ready to expect delays. Be ready to be detained by immigration. There's going to be other frustrations while you're waiting for Border Patrol and for the asylum office to even coordinate the interview. They could ship you from one detention facility to another. Like the detention process is always in flux, and it is not it's not fun. All right, let's just say it like it is. It is not fun. If you know somebody that's in that process, it's a horrible process. And you got to just be ready for it. Be ready to expect the unexpected. Delays, frustrations, you might be detained weeks. You might even be detained, up to months, just waiting for your interview. And some of that depends on how many people are entering the U.S. at any given time. And part of it is, organizational issues from within the U.S. government. Okay? So that's it. That's my kind of spiel for today about credible fear interviews. If you're going through that process, please don't go through it alone. Please have someone to help you. Have a lawyer who knows this stuff to help you. Okay? My name is Otis Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream, and I'll see you next week on our next episode of Deportation Defense Live. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.